Good morning. My name is Pius. Don't worry, I'm not a future millionaire or some kind of perfect influencer who wakes up at 4 a.m. every day. I am a usual full-time student studying software systems. So prepare for quite a boring video about a usual day in my life. Because actually I don't do that in the morning. Or that. Or any of that. With that being said, I guess we can finally start. I love mornings, they are my favorite part of the day because I'm feeling way more productive than in the evening. Also, nobody really bothers you because they're still in a deep sleep. I usually try to wake up at 6 a.m. and the first thing I do is a bodyweight quarantine workout. It is probably the only way to get out of my hibernation. The warm-up usually consists of dynamic stretches, wrist rolls, handstand holds, and push-up to handstand. For the workout, I do very different stuff. Today is Wednesday, so the plan is to do planche progression exercises. Another must-have in the morning for me is a warm cup of tea. This is the place where I usually study and work. Currently, I am developing my first game called The Last Bird, where you control a plane and must defend your country from enemy attacks. My plan for today is to add something called an autocannon. I got this idea while playing a game called War Thunder. I fired the cannon and it made me feel very powerful, so I thought it might be a great idea to try to implement it to my game. I have done some experiments, got some feedback, and my plan is quite simple. The cannon round is fired, it has a timed fuse, so after some time it explodes. The circle overlaps all enemies around it and access their scripts to cause damage depending on the distance between round and them. Right now it is 7:30, I have about an hour and a half to my first class, so let's get to work. As you can see, I have done some progress, the cannon fires and deals damage correctly to enemies. Unfortunately, I will not be fast enough to add some additional features to the game, because it is almost 9 a.m, so I must prepare for the first class, which is Object-Oriented Programming. It is one of my favorite modules. We are learning C# and have some assignments to do. So today I'll work on that. After the first class there is a short break and I have very important plans for that. So see you in the next class, which is Digital Logic. We are currently learning how to combine signals together and make logic schemes. Basically we have decimal numbers, we need to convert them to binary code, combine signals, minimize the expressions, thus removing extra logic and wires. I should say that it is quite interesting when everything goes right, but it can get really frustrating and boring when you need to spend hours searching for a simple mistake, untangling every wire and checking every expression you wrote. That is exactly what I will do today. Also, we need to remake every scheme using NAND gate and De Morgan law. Also something called a multiplexer, and I have no idea how it works. So wish me luck and I will see you after that. The next thing is physics, but before I really need to study math because I describe my relationship with mathematics as
not great, not terrible.
So from time to time I need to put some extra work to stay afloat. And today's final class is physics. We are learning by using something called problem-based learning. It works pretty simply. You and your team get a realistic problem, like calculating the output power of an elevator engine. You and your team solve the problem, and you and your team pass the class. Today we are making a presentation, so I should get going and prepare for that. The presentation went well, the sun is starting to go down. It was a very long day, I was sitting for 9 hours, so at this time I usually go for a walk to keep my sanity intact and get my legs moving. It is 6 p.m. in the evening, and now I have two choices, either to study for a bit or play video games. And you can already see where this is going. I recently started reading books because the pile of books behind my bed decided not to magically read themselves. So I read for about 30 minutes every evening, and that's probably the last thing I do. Right now I am reading author Karud's book, Tigers in Mud. I guess that's it for today. It was very interesting for me to make this video, so I hope it was interesting for you to watch. Thank you, and good night.